this brother. Carly almost killed us on the ramp. Really last minute go.
It really will.
Dude, I really want that car. My ass could use it.
Get home,
Is that four? My dad can stand right there. Yeah, true. I really don't get the couch. Who are all these people on the bed over there? She's a curl? Uh-huh. That doesn't have an eyebrow. Y'all are pitiful. She really don't. You don't know her name? You have her? Hey, scoot over so that way my mom comes back. What's that? The Gigolo open house? I saw y'all doing it. Yo, it was before any of y'all were in there. Yeah. They had the whole room there, they pumped up. We got up there and we stopped and laughed. Oh, Gigolo. We're like, stop on. You know these rare. We're like, no, come on. Everybody else would go, we're doing it. We're like, yeah. That's what I want. They do like that being stupid. It's like, softball. We're like, I just started looking at like, really? He's like, y'all see what I can do with it? Johnny. I don't see it better. Wait, Johnny, you want to play? Now, what? I want the sign. I want the sign. I don't know what you want, but I want it.
Hey, what's the
Stand up. I feel like he's looking like this. Wait, I'll come in. You sit there. Johnny can sit here. Johnny can sit here. You sit there. I'll move over.
Sit my break.
Oh. Hey, look, honestly, in there. I was ready to do it on the same day. So y'all can look at it. Now let me dance and I talk to you. Now
Spent the day like 6 times
I
already.
need to spend the day before I graduate. I'm going to do that talking to her for 3 hours.
If it aggravates you, delete them.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Check, check. 1, 2. 2, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Up, down, what? Up. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm about here. Right here. Oh, for you and the crowd mic? There.
know it's cheap. Well, I didn't know. Like practice. And then keep it back. When we miss the practice, because you gotta leave, you know, and all that. You need to look back and see who's making how many.
And a pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of Cabrini High School, where tonight we have a second-round volleyball playoff volleyball match for you in Division II between the Cabrini Crescents, the 7th seed in Division II, and the Terrebonne Lady Tigers, who are the 10th seed in a game brought to you by First NBC Bank right here on SportsNola.com. Emmanuel Pep is here with you, ready to take you the rest of the way through this playoff matchup. Of course, winner advances to the quarterfinals, and that'll be played, of course, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals at the Pontchartrain Center over in Kenner starting next weekend. You got a 7 and a 10, so obviously you're looking at potentially a very evenly matched, evenly played match between both sides. Both teams have some very dangerous hitters to look out for. And starting with Cabrini on the home side, and it really starts up front with their attack, and it's run through, especially Raquel Spencer, who is actually being heavily recruited as a two-sport athlete, being heavily recruited in basketball as well. And Spencer is part of the Crescent's attack. They're looking forward to hopefully propelling them into Kenner next weekend. Coached by Casey Laird. Cabrini, of course, the winner of this match will go on to play the winner of the 2-15 matchup. That'll also be played tonight between Ben Franklin and Live Oak. Of course, if the Crescents win, that'll mitigate a rematch between two district rivals who played both matches in 5 sets throughout the season. Ben Franklin winning both of those. Of course, Terrebonne coming in, coached by Craig Hamner. And the Lady Tigers come in after defeating Ellender in their first round match. They won at 19-13 and 9. So sweeping Ellender in 3 sets to take on Cabrini, or to advance to take on Cabrini tonight. The Crescents had a bye coming in to this match. So all winners from tonight, and all matches will be played tonight in Division II. All winners we mentioned will be going to Kenner and the Pontchartrain Center. As we look at the side of the bracket that these teams are on, we mentioned the winner of this match will take on Live Oak or Ben Franklin in the quarterfinals. The other pod on this side of the bracket has the 3-seed Assumption against Woodlawn of Baton Rouge, 14, and St. Scholastica, the 6, against the 11 seed in Lakeshore. The Lady Tigers came in after we mentioned an opening round win, but they had also won their last 4 matches of the regular season as well, and 2 of those in 5 sets, and 2 of those against district foes as well, in Central Lafourche and South Terrebonne. So the Lady Tigers have had a flair for the dramatic of late, heading in to this matchup tonight against the Crescents. Terrebonne with a 26-16 overall record coming into tonight. Meanwhile, Cabrini is at 25-11. The Crescents had only those 2 district losses to Ben Franklin, 5-2 in district play. Meanwhile, Terrebonne finished at 7-3 in district. 7 versus 10, the Crescents versus the Lady Tigers. And Cabrini has defended their home court well as well. 7 wins out of 8 matches at home this season. We are close to the action tonight in Cabrini's gym. About 5 rows of bleachers before you get to us, right up at the top. We've got a good view of the action, and we'll bring it to you all night as the Lady Tigers and Crescents do battle in the second round of the Division II playoffs to see who will advance to be one of the 8 teams in the quarterfinals in Kenner next weekend. We've got a few seconds left on the warm-up clock, and once that runs out, we're going to go through pregame festivities. And of course, that'll include the national anthem. We will also have starting lineups and the first serve as well. And we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on SportsNOLA.com. Of course, this game will be archived as well if you want to go back and tune in. But of course, we thank everybody for being tuned in on SportsNOLA.com and the presentation of prep volleyball, high school volleyball by First NBC Bank. Crescents and Lady Tigers coming up in just a few moments. Then we'll turn it over to PA, and we will go through pregame festivities, come back and give you starting lineups and first serve in just a moment. You are tuned in with high school volleyball on SportsNOLA.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Welcome back to campus of Cabrini High School. And I know Pep is here as the starting lineups have just been introduced for tonight's second round matchup in the postseason between Terrebonne and Cabrini, and we're going to take you through both of those lineups before we get first serve. First for the Lady Tigers, the visiting Lady Tigers, it's going to be number 6, Hannah Coleman, number 7, Brittany Liner, number 9, Taylor Domang, number 10, Jalen Jones, number 12, Lexi Neal, and the libero is number 2, senior Alyssa Dobson. Meanwhile, for Cabrini, numerical order plus the libero, it's number 2, India Buck, number 12, Emma Petta, number 15, Miranda Kelly, number 20, Victoria Mertens, number 27, Bailey Hepting, number 28, Raquel Spencer, and the libero number 1, Hannah Canair. Crescent's coached by Casey Laird. We mentioned the Lady Tigers coached by Craig Hamner as both teams are on the floor. Both teams in white jerseys. Different color numbering and lettering, though. Cabrini, dark green numbers. Meanwhile, Terrebonne has black numbers and maroon down the sleeves. As both officials are doing their final checks before this winner-go-home postseason matchup. Winner to face the winner of the 2:15 matchup between Ben Franklin and Live Oak. Cabrini will start on serve. It's going to be Victoria Mertens to start it off. Will serve from deep. She gets a whistle from the head official. And the approach, and an angular approach, and we're underway. Serve, receive, but this is a free ball and dumped back down on the reception, and that is Raquel Spencer right on the spot, and Cabrini with an early 1-0 lead. A little bit of problem on the serve receive, and that brought it right over the point of the net where Spencer was waiting for it. 1-0 Cabrini. That'll be Mertens again. Again, an angular approach going for the back corner, but that one lands out of bounds. A service error. Again, she was angling for number 11, Sarah Falgu. That one landed out, and it's 1-1 on the error. Brittany Liner now to serve for the Lady Tigers. Puts one over, received by Canair from inside the net. It's set up for Spencer, and she kills it. Off the assist by Hepting. From inside at the net, Spencer was just able to slam one down. She's got 2 kills and 2 swings, and it's 2-1. On the rotation, coming in to serve, it's Sabrina Brew, one of a senior-laden roster for Cabrini. Brew puts it in play. Serve, received, and now it's going to be bump set as 2 players, and now it's just going to be hit over on a free ball, but 2 Crescents collide with each other. So a free ball winds up being a point for Terrebonne, as it was Canair and Spencer both in the same bit of real estate. 2-2. And that'll bring the serve for the Lady Tigers. Number 18, Ava Stoufflet. Serve is going to be received that time by Brew, and it's set up on the slide for Spencer, and she kills it. When in doubt, they've gone to number 28 offensively, and Raquel Spencer with 3 kills in 3 attempts to put Cabrini back on serve, and that'll bring it to India Buck. Now we have a whistle and a stoppage, so a check at the table, I believe, on the rotation is what is in question and who the server is supposed to be. Buck is back to serve, but now just doing a final check. And no change. It is Buck to serve for Cabrini. Sends one over, and there's an ace. A bit of a late reaction that time on the other side by Liner, and it landed in front of her, and it's 4-2. Serve over, and that one received, but it's going to be dumped back down, and that time on the spot it was Kelly. It went to the back left corner where Stoufflet was waiting. But the service reception took it right back over, and 2 unassisted kills so far for Cabrini. Makes it 5-2, and this could be another free ball. A joust at the net, and that's going to be a point for Cabrini. They call a net violation, and they're going to tag Lexi Neal on that one. So 4 straight for the Crescents to make it 6-2. Sends a harder serve over that time does Buck. It is received clean though and set up middle that time, but dug out by Brew. And now another joust at the net. Rule it dead, and that's going to be a point for Terrebonne. And that time the net violation happened on the setter Hepting. Breaks a 4-point run for Cabrini, and it's 6-3. Back to serve. It is Delaney Liner for Terrebonne. Trying to climb themselves back into the set after digging an early hole. Serve received, and it's going to be set by Hepting with a swing from deep. That is easily dug out that time by Brittany Liner. It's set middle, trying to kill it deep, but it's dug out on the back line by Buck. And now it's just going to have to be tapped over by the wrist. So an easy pass from Aguilar, but now we got a whistle and a double contact call of the Lady Tigers. So a few unforced errors on Terrebonne, and Cabrini back to a 4-point edge. It'll be the libero, Hannah Kinnair, who will serve. Meanwhile, checking in on rotation is Atira Gels on the front line. Kinnair, standing serve over, and it is received, and it's going to be set this time for a just hit over deep, and that one dug out by Buck, and it's going to be set up middle this time, blocked, but it's continued and then played off the net, and then returned over. Nice recovery by Cabrini off the block attempt, and another swing is blocked, and it's going to wind up being down. For a point for Cabrini. Hannah Coleman had two big swings for Terrebonne on that rally. The second one, though, was blocked with authority, and Cabrini has gained some separation early on at 8-3. So it's Kinnair to send one over again. Ball spins in the air on the reception, and it's going to hit over, and that was a free one. It turned into for Gels, who winds up just tapping it back over for a kill, and it's 9-3 Cabrini. On the set that time, Neal, he tried to deke out Cabrini, acting like it was a set, but it wound up being pushed over. Now the serve is going to be received cleanly that time. Neal is going to set for Coleman. That one blocked and then continued, but could not be continued further on a second hit, and it's a point for Cabrini. Coleman again, her swing rejected at the net, and the timeout is called by Coach Hamner as Terrebonne firmly against the ropes here in set number one, trailing 10-3 against the Crescents. We will take a break with them. We'll come right back in just about 30 seconds. You're tuned in to High School Volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. And we're back here at the campus of Cabrini High School. Kinnair is getting ready to put it in service once again as the Crescents lead 10-3. Serve received, clean that time by Liner. Standing hit over by Coleman, over the block. Kinnair is going to dig it out easily. They changed on the bump set that time. Now just a cross-court hit from Kelly. That was dug out. Now back on Terrebonne's side. A two-handed push over, trying to look for a pocket of space by Aguilar, but they cover. And then just a tap over kill that was blocked, or a kill attempt by Gels, but Coleman was waiting at the net to reject that one. And it is 10-4. Terrebonne gets that all-important first point out of the timeout. Neal serves one over, and it's received that time by Kelly. And they're going to set up for Kelly, trying to kill it deep, but sprawling to her right to dig that one out was Dobson. A free ball, though, as it's sent over back on Cabrini's side. Now they set up for a kill attempt by Gels. Cross-court that lands in. Atira Gels with her second kill upon entry, and it is 11-4. Substitution coming in for Cabrini as Emma Petta is back in on rotation, replacing Sabrina Brew. Meanwhile, back to serve, it is the setter Hefting. Crescents comfortably ahead at the moment. Left-handed serve over. Getting to that one was Dobson. And now it's going to be set up for Coleman's kill attempt, and she spikes one home. Straight shot down the left side of the court. And Hannah Coleman trying to help Terrebonne claw back into this set. Down 11-5 as we do have substitutions coming in for the Lady Tigers. Taylor Domang is back in. Meanwhile, back to serve for Terrebonne. It's Sarah Falgo. Falgo sends one deep, and it's received, but this is a free ball. Coleman tried to dump it back down, but it was dug out by Petta. And now a free ball back to the net. Bumping it over that time, it was Buck. So now back on the Lady Tigers side, they set middle. Coleman tried a two-handed push over, but Kinnair was alert to that one and in position. The set, though, took Kelly into the net. And that winds up being a point for Terrebonne. Hefting tried to set up for Kelly, but the set took her right into the net. Nothing Kelly could do about that one, and now it's going to be set up for a kill attempt by Gels. That one was dug out in the back line, pinballed around twice. They got a whistle, blow it dead. They're going to call a net violation on the second hit. Momentum carried Neal straight into the net. 12-6 Cabrini. Sent over by Kelly, but too deep, a service error. And Terrebonne gone basically back and forth, trading points out of the timeout ever since Cabrini raced out to that 7-point lead. 4 rallies, they've been split evenly. Dobson now back to serve for the Lady Tigers. Dobson sends one over, and it is received by Buck, but it's a free ball and dumped back down on the spot that time for Terrebonne. That was number 10, Jalen Jones. The Lady Tigers within 4. A deeper serve over, and that's received by Kelly. Bump set that time by Hempting. That's set middle back for Kelly. That one dug out. Dobson was in position. And now a swing is blocked, but then continued on the cover. They could bump it back over. The Lady Tigers, they do. Sprawling to get to that one was Kinnear. Setting up for Hempting, who sets up for a kill set by Buck. Blocked, but continued back over. And now it's back on Cabrini's side again. Hempting from in tight. Sets up for Gels' kill attempt, or excuse me. That was Gels, but it was dug out. Now a free ball back over. So a pass to Hempting. Going to set up for Gels. Trying again. Popped back on Cabrini's side. Continued off of the block. And now they're going to set up for Buck. Taps one over the block, but it's kept alive once again by Neal. Back on Cabrini's side once again. Hempting is going to set up. Too far to cover that time for Petta. And it's a point for Terrebonne. Could be a momentum changer for the Lady Tigers. A long rally going their side. Plus, they trim it down to 3. Serve over, received by Kinnear. Spins in the air. Hempting with a one-handed try to set back, but she's in the net, and it winds up being a point. Excuse me, for Cabrini on the net violation on the other side. As Mertens is now in on rotation, she will serve. So an unforced error on Terrebonne's side squashes their momentum that they have built up. It's 13-9. Mertens from deep. Serves over, and that one is received that time. Set up for a kill attempt. That's hit straight into the net. Just a downward swing by Jones. And she hit that one into the bottom of the net. 14-9. Cabrini. Here in set number 1. Mertens again on that angle approach from deep, and she angles one out of bounds. On the service error. Gives it back to Terrebonne. Down by 4. So it is Brittany Liner back to serve for the Lady Tigers. Sends one over. Kinnear receives. Ball spins in the air. Sets up for a bump set and a kill attempt by Buck. That was dug out. Position that time. It was Falgu. Now a swing, and that is rattled back off of the net. Back on Terrebonne's side. That was Domingue going for the kill. Unsuccessful. Cabrini with the point, and they lead by 5. Service substitution for the Crescents as Sabrina Brew back in, replacing Petta. Brew sails one over. Dobson receives, and it's going to be set up for a kill attempt off of the block and then dug out by Hempting. So it's going to be set back from Kinnear for Buck, and trying to dig that one out, but it goes into the official stand. Trying to dig that one was Falgu, but off of the first hit, went right to the head official. So a kill for Cabrini and a point, and it is a half-dozen-point lead. Serve sent over, received, and it's going to be set up by Neal, but it winds up being back over, and a kill for Raquel Spencer. Spencer had 3 early marks in the kill department. There's her 4th of the set. And Cabrini right back to the lead that we had at the timeout at 17-10. Bump set this time for a kill attempt from deep, and we got a whistle, and it's going to be a point for Terrebonne. Net violation on Cabrini's side. Makes it 17-11. Ava Stoufflet is going to serve for Terrebonne. Sends one deep over. Kinnear plays, and this was toward the net. Just hitting it over was Hempting, but she goes into the net. Off of the first hit from Kinnear. Took Hempting towards the net, and she couldn't stop her momentum. Kinnear receives much cleaner that time. Hempting can bump set for Buck, and she kills it. With emphasis right in the face that time of Ava Stoufflet. Buck with an absolute smash kill, and it's 18-12, and Buck will now serve. Sends one deep on a line over, received, and it's going to be bump set, and then just two-handed push over. So basically a free one for the Crescents. They set middle that time. Spencer changes speeds, but the Lady Tigers alert to that one. They're going to set middle, trying to kill an angle, and they get that one in bounds. For the kill, it's Jalen Jones. So Terrebonne continuing to try to battle back, but just too deep of a hole that they clawed themselves into when they trailed 10-3 in that timeout. Couple little mini spurts on both sides after that, but it's been basically played even for the rest of the set. Serve received, and now Hefting is going to set. They're going to slide with Spencer that time. Dug out on the back line, or the dig attempt. But off the first hit, it took the setter, Neal, into the net. So Spencer will get credit for that kill. And Cabrini, 6 points away from closing out the opening set in their favor, as subbing back in on rotation as Atira gels. Meanwhile, it's Kinnair back to serve at 19-13 with a lead. Serve sent over on the line, and this is going to wind up being an ace. Not able to be handled by Brittany Liner, and the third service ace for Cabrini in the set. And Kinnair notches that one, and we're back again to a 7-point advantage. Kinnair sends one over, handled much cleaner that time, and by a different recipient. It was Souffle, and then a standing hit over. Sprawling to get to that one was Buck on the dig. Now they set up for Kelly's kill attempt, tried to stuff it in front of the block, but it was dug out, and it's returned over and down, as only able to get fingertips to it was Brew Terrebonne. Notches the point on the rally. They're down by 6. As it is Neal to send one over. Lexi Neal sends it over, received by Kelly. Hefting tries to kill it, and she does. A setter swing as Hefting maybe saw it at the corner of her eye, a vacated pocket of space in the back left corner, went for it, and got it in with plenty of room to spare. Now the serve just received, and it can be bumped over, but two Lady Tigers wind up bumping into each other. They tried to call each other off. That was Dobson and Stouffle. Neither really budged, though, as the third hit was just going to be a free ball over. Once again, it is Hefting who will serve, as it is 22-15. Cabrini with the lead. There's a check at the scores table for, it was 22-14. There was a point added on the other side that should not have been, and now we got a whistle and a double hit called, and it is going to be whistled that time on Liner. So the Crescents narrowing in on taking this first set, just 2 points away from it. Hefting, left-handed serve over, too deep and out of bounds. And Terrebonne now back on serve, but with a lot to do, down by 8. Service substitution coming in for the Lady Tigers is Falgu, one of 3 seniors on the roster who will serve. Falgu sends one over on a bit of an angle. Back middle that was received. And now they're going to set up for a kill attempt by Gels. Too deep, though. Just got too much air underneath it on the swing. And an attack error gives Terrebonne another point. Makes it 23-16. Lady Tigers trying to get all they can out of this rotation. As the serve goes over, received that time by Kinnair. Bump set by Hefting. And now a swing from Kelly. Rattles the tape, and it is somehow kept alive first time, but it was just played into the net by Dobson. She got her right hand underneath and then hit the bottom of the net, but nobody else could play it off of the net. And it is a kill for Kelly. And it is set point for the Crescents. A float serve over, a bit shorter, received, and it's going to be set up for a standing hit over that time. It was by Coleman, easily dug out. Hefting is going to set up for a tap over kill attempt that was dug out from Petta. And now a swing over the block, but keeping it alive that time was Buck. Now a joust at the net, and then Kinnair keeps it alive, but her head went underneath and on Terrebonne's side. So she's called for a net violation, and it gives a point to the Lady Tigers. 24-17 as Dobson sends one over. Kinnair receives and is going to pass to Hefting, who bump sets that time for Gels, who tries to finish it. It winds up being a dig and then just a hit over. We got a lift violation called on Neal, and that finishes the set. Cabrini takes it 25-17. So the Crescents jump out to an early 10-3 lead, and they make it stick the rest of the way through. Terrebonne got it to as little as 3, but no closer than that. And the Crescents were able to see out the rest of the set. And on a strong attack early by Raquel Spencer and a couple of other players getting into the mix as well. The service game was also a big threat for Cabrini as they were able to take the first set at 25-17. We'll take the break as the teams change sides. You are tuned in to high school volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. And a pleasant welcome back, folks, to the campus of Cabrini High School, where the Crescents took the first set 25-17, now leading a set to none, as Terrebonne is already out on the floor, ready to start set number 2. Cabrini just breaking their huddle. Winner of this match will go on to the quarterfinals, which will be played at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner starting next weekend. All second-round matches will be played tonight, and the winner of this match will take on either the 15-seed Live Oak or the 2-seed Ben Franklin. So a possible district rematch for a third time, this time in the postseason, between Cabrini and Ben Franklin should both win tonight. The Crescents out to a solid start, as Terrebonne will start on serve with Dobson. Lady Tigers looking to defend the service game, or defend against the service game better of Cabrini, and also giving away several points early on. That dug them in a 10-3 hole that they couldn't get out of, but a service error. So Dobson and the Lady Tigers give one right away on the service error. 1-0 Cabrini. Subs coming in, including Victoria Mertens, will serve from deep in the corner. A circular approach that she takes on the serve, and it is received that time, and it's going to be just punched over by Neal back to the net, but Cabrini was alert to that, and now a swing cross court, and that winds up being a kill, and that is Emma Petta with the hard swing that could not be handled on the back line, and Cabrini earns the first 2 points of set number 2. Mertens, shorter serve over, and that winds up being a free ball, so it's going to be a pass this time, and it's going to be set middle. Spencer tries to push it deep, but Dobson was there, and it's going to set up. They set middle this time, and Terrebonne winds up getting a kill from Jones. Jalen Jones was the engineer of the Lady Tigers, who tried to rally back from that 7-point deficit, ultimately unsuccessful, but once they got into their sets, they ran a lot through Jones as the serve received by Kinnair, and it's going to be set up this time for Spencer, and she smashes one home. Spencer goes right at Brittany Liner. No tricks to that one. It was just pure power, and it's 3-1. Sabrina Brew's service substitution checks in for the Crescents. Brew sails one over, received by Liner, bump set, and it's going to be for Jones, and that one is just pushed right back as it was hit basically straight into the block of Cabrini. Waiting for it were Hefting and Spencer. Not a convincing enough of a swing anyway from Jones from deep, right by the 10-foot line. 4-1. Serve over, and Jones tries to handle that one. It's just pinball back over third time. Almost got Cabrini off guard, but they reset with Buck trying to kill it, and she does. The block went out of bounds. The block attempt from Jones, and Neal got sent straight sideways. So a kill for India Buck. And it's 5-1. Serve sent over, received, and it's going to be bump set. Jones leans in a 1-2-handed push, trying to angle that one, but it goes out of bounds. So Jalen Jones just trying to push it into a little void of space on the other side of the net. She winds up missing her spot, and the Crescents have raced out to a 6-1 advantage. That one sails over and an ace, as the reception attempt from Falgu goes straight into the crowd, and a timeout called by Coach Hamner. And again, Terrebonne out to a slow start in a set. They trailed 10-3 in set number 1, trailing here 7-1 in set number 2, as they have had loads of problems with the Cabrini service game, especially with a couple of players in the Crescent's rotation on the service. With that, we'll take a very short break and come back. You are tuned in to High School Volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. We're back ready for play as Cabrini just breaking their huddle out of the timeout. Crescent's leading 7-1 over Terrebonne. And the Lady Tigers just haven't had enough opportunities to set up for their big hitters, Coleman and Jones. As the serve deep over, too hard and out of bounds. That time from Brew. We have a substitution coming in for Terrebonne. It's a service substitution. It's Stoufflet. Ava Stoufflet, who checked in for Taylor Domingue. Stoufflet sends one over to Canaire. And Hepting runs underneath the bump set this one. Canaire's going to swing at one from deep, but it's dug out on the back line. And it's going to be set, though, but that was battled for at the point of the net. Back on Terrebonne's side. Now a two-handed push over to Canaire. Hepting's going to bump set. Buck is going to wind up and fire, and that one is dug out on the back line. And then bump set by Neal. Hit over on a free ball to the Crescent. So Hepting is going to set with another swing at Spencer that time, and she sends it home. Raquel Spencer racks up another kill for the Crescents. Terrebonne has not been able to get any sustained runs, even when they've gotten those first points out of the timeout. They've done it twice. They did it in set number 1, here again in set number 2. As the serve sent over, but the Lady Tigers haven't been able to string together any points. Just a standing hit over that's rejected back, but then continued by Aguilar. And then a two-handed dump play over, tried by Neal, and it winds up being a point as the return from Cabrini went straight into the net. It was Hepting who tried to return it back over. Just rattled the middle of the net, so it's 8-3. Lady Tigers now with Delaney Liner sending one over, and that's a shorter serve, but they do react to that. That time it was Brew, and now a send over, but it winds up being an unsuccessful kill attempt as Coleman was waiting at the net. And Terrebonne down to a 4-point deficit. Still early on in set number 2, and the Lady Tigers leaving themselves again early in a set with a lot of work to do, but a send over, and that one is received by Brew, and it's going to be a cross-court set this time for Kelly, and she kills it. Miranda Kelly kills one right in between two backline defenders, Stoufflet, along with Liner. And it's 9-4 Cabrini as Canaire is back to serve. So Canaire sends one on the line over. Serve received. Neal is going to set. It's for Coleman. That one blocked, but continued by Coleman. And then Neal just bumps it over, so a free ball. As Canaire passes to Hepting. They're going to set up for a kill attempt. We've got a late whistle and a double called on Hepting. Whistle came a little bit late, but the double was called, so a ball handling error will be charged to Bailey Hepting. 9-5, serve over, received by Brew. Hepting is going to set, and they're going to wrap around that time with Gels, but it's dug out on the back line, and nicely by Stoufflet, but a bump over and a free ball as Dobson sends one over. It's a cross-court set this time for Kelly, who just taps one over the block, and then it deflects down off of Coleman, and a point for Cabrini. 10-5 Crescents. So it is Hepting, left-handed serve, goes over. Dobson, that one got up on her, but she still received it clean. Coleman's going to lean into one, but that one is dug out nicely in the back line by Buck. And then Canaire sends one over on a free ball, so it's back on the Lady Tiger side. Neal tries to dump it toward the corner, but Buck slides over to dig that one out, and then a kill stuffed in front of the block. That is Atira Gels, who smashes one in front of the block. Attempt by Coleman, who was not completely set up, and it's 11-5. Hepting again floats this one over, received by Dobson, and Neal is going to cross-court set this time for Coleman, who tries to kill it deep. They peel out of the way, though. Terrebonne appealing for a touch. They're not going to get it. It's a Cabrini point, and it is 12-5. And again, the Crescents repelling a little mini run by the Lady Tigers, where they've given away most of the points that Terrebonne has gotten in this set. Standing hit over from Coleman, dug out by Canaire. And now it's going to be set up for a cross-court kill attempt that Neal gets to, and it's going to wind up skimming the net and back on Terrebonne's side. So the kill will be credited to Petta, who was the last to hit it. Neal tried to dig it out, but on the dig attempt, went right into the net. Nobody could play off of it. Serve received on a line, and then Neal tries to dump it over. Now we get a whistle, and it's a Cabrini point. An illegal attack on Terrebonne's side. Neal is perplexed, and so too is Coach Hamner, looking for an explanation from the head official. 14-5 as it stands. Crescent's lead. Hepting Sails one over, and that one is received by Stufley. It went sideways, so just a free ball over as that serve put Terrebonne out of system, and now Gels smashes one down right in front of Neal, and a timeout called by Coach Hamner. And so Cabrini has extended once again after seeing their 6-point lead cut to 4 right out of the break. The Crescents have responded in kind and have run back away again, leading now 15-5 as we'll take a short break. You're tuning to high school volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Back here on the campus of Cabrini High School, as Hepting again in serve for the Crescents. Sends one over. We're back in play. Cabrini leading 15-5. Serve received. Coleman trying to kill it off the fingertips of the block, and then it was dug out by Kelly. So it's going to be bump set this time for Kelly with a swing, and sliding over to her left to dig that one out was Stufley, but it's a free ball over from Neal. So it's going to wind up being Gels, who passes to Kinnair, who sets up for Kelly, and she kills. Sails one right in between the libero Dobson and Liner as well on the back line. And it is 16-5. And Cabrini in firm command of this second set, as they have been throughout. Serve received, and that one pops off of the roof and then back down off of the service reception. The serve with the power from Hepting, and the reception as it reverbed off of Stufley, sent it right into the roof and took a deflection, and now an ace off of Stufley. And Bailey Hepting now starting to rack up the aces, as the Crescents have done so far throughout the night. 18-5. Serve received again. It pinballs off the roof and down, and that time it was Liner who tried to receive that one. So another ace from Hepting. 3 straight. And it is right now all but a formality at this point for this set. Trickles over the tape, and when it goes your way, those are the deflections you get as well. Hepting gets one to just squeak over the tape and down for another ace. 20-5. Hepting sends one on a line over, and Stufley, good job to get to that one, but a free ball over. So the Crescent's trying to take advantage of Kinnair, passing to Hepting, setting up for Gels, and she kills. Atira Gels with the kill for the Crescents. 21-5. The run is at 12 straight points, but a service error as the hit off of the net came right back and smacked Gels around the forehead. She's okay, though, as she shares a little laugh with her teammates, as Cabrini still well in command, but Terrebonne now on serve, and they are with Sarah Falgu. Falgu sends one over, and that's received, that time by Buck. And they're going to set middle this time for a kill attempt. Nicely dug out by Dobson. And a bump set this time. Coleman tries to lob one to the back line, but Buck was there. Now they're going to set middle again. Gels tries to kill it, but goes too deep and out of bounds. And it is a Terrebonne point. 21-7. Cabrini still well out in front. Falgu sends one over. Buck receives, and it's going to be set by Hepting. And again, they set middle, a tap over, and then it was hit underneath the net after Neal tried to dig it out. Domang was in a compromised position right at the net, wound up hitting it back on Cabrini's side under. So a point for the Crescents. Serve received, and this is going to be a free ball and dumped back down. And there is Gels right on the spot. 23-7. We saw it with Spencer early to set the tone, and it's been a lot of Gels here in the second set on offense, and that is going to wind up being an ace off a deflection. That is Miranda Kelly, who racks up the ace and puts it at set point now for the Crescents, who try to finish off the second set. All but a formality. It's just a matter of what the final score is going to read, and that's going to wind up being an ace as it lands in on the back line. Kelly polishes it off right there, and Cabrini had the foot on the throat throughout the set, got out to a 7-1 lead. It was quickly trimmed down to 4 out of a timeout, but then Cabrini had a massive run to put it back to a 15-point lead. They were able to run out to a 25-7 second set victory. 2-0. The Crescents leading the Lady Tigers. We'll take the break. You are tuned in to high school volleyball on SportsNL.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Welcome back to the campus of Cabrini High School. The Crescents leading 2-0 over Terrebonne after taking the first two 25-17, and then the second in much more demonstrative fashion at 25-7. 5 state championship banners in volleyball hang in this gym. The last one won in 2011. The Crescents hoping to add another to that total. 2001, 2004, or excuse me, 4 volleyball state championships, 2001, 2007, 08, and 2011 was their last. We saw a lot of what the Crescents have been able to do, not only with their main frontline hitters, especially with Spencer and with Gels, but also with their service game, which has given Terrebonne a lot of fits throughout. 3 service aces, and in that second set, I believe there were 8, though I had lost count at some point. The Crescents surely racked them up, especially between Hefting and Kelly. Mertens will start off on serve for Cabrini here in set number 3. Mertens sends one over, and it is received, and it's going to be bump set this time by Neal. And it's a swing by Jones. Fingertips off the block, and then Kelly with the dig. Now a swing by Buck, and Dobson slides to her right to dig that one out. Another bump set by Neal, and they're just going to bump it over, so a free ball. It's going to be passed to Hefting. Hefting is going to set up on the slide for Spencer, who kills it. They slide middle with Spencer. They slide it to the outside. And Terrebonne has not had an answer for that all night. 1-0 Crescents. Spencer, we mentioned, is also a highly sought-after recruit in the basketball scene, as that's a free ball, and Buck pumps that one back down for another point off of the free ball, and Dia Buck was right at the net, waiting to just tap it back down, and it's 2-0. Mertens, that one an angled serve, but right into the net. Service error. And Cabrini gives a point to Terrebonne. It's 2-1. Of course, when we talk Cabrini in basketball, think about Janicia Neely, who prepped over who went to Loyola University and now has signed a professional contract to play overseas at Benfica in Portugal, as a double hit called on Cabrini on Hepting. And that keeps it with Terrebonne. So a ball handling error makes it 2-2. Serve over by Liner, and Buck sprawls to that one. Now set up for Spencer, and she hits one over the block, but Dobson was there. Neal is going to set another double called. That time it's on Neal on the other side, so it gives a point to Cabrini and a lead to the Crescents, 3-2. Service substitution, and it is Brew. Checks in for Petta. Brew sails one over. Dobson tracks back, receives. Neal bump sets, and this is for Jones. She pushes one over the block, but a whistle, roll it dead, and they call a double contact as a two-handed push over. We've seen that gone to, especially by Jones, a lot. We've seen Coleman try it as well on Terrebonne's side. That time winds up giving a point away. Serve received, and it's going to be set up this time for Jones with a more conventional swing, but no go. 3 straight points now for Cabrini, and it's 5-2. Brew sends one over. Dobson receives, and then Neal gets underneath the bump set this one. Jones from deeper. She sends one out of bounds. Going for the back right corner, but she missed her spot by several inches, and it's 6-2 on the attack error. We've seen the power of Jalen Jones swing, but she hasn't been able to control it so far tonight when she's gotten the opportunity. Jones will try again for a swing, and that one nicely dug out on the back line, that time by Kelly. And then Buck tries to tap it over, but it's rejected back by Jalen Jones. Jones gives a point to the Lady Tigers as we have substitutions coming in, including the server, Ava Stoufflet. We'll check in to serve. 6-3. As the serve angled over toward the back corner, Kelly receives. Hepting sets. Spencer tries to smash one home, and she does. Raquel Spencer has been very efficient throughout the night. I believe only one of her swings has been dug out, and it's 7-3 Cabrini. So it is Buck who will now serve for the Crescents, again gaining an early advantage. And a sizable one at that. Serve over, and it's received by Liner. Spins in the air, set middle, that time for Jones, and that going for the back corner, out of bounds. Jalen Jones, another attack error, and another timeout call, the first of the set used by Craig Hamner. Cabrini out to an 8-3 lead here in set number 3 as they're looking to close out the match in this set. Off to a good start with an 8-3 advantage. We'll take the break. You are tuned in to High School Volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Back here at Cabrini, and Dia Buck ready to put it in play as the Crescents have scored 6 of the last 7 and make that 7 of the last 8. A Liner serve that skims the tape as it goes over and lands innocently on Terrebonne's side for another ace. This one posted by Buck. 9-3. Sends one more of an angle. Stoufflet is there to receive, though. Dobson is going to bump set, and then a Lady Tiger was called off. That was Aguilar, who was called off by Neal. And now a kill attempt, and it winds up being rattled into the net. No deflection off a Lady Tiger as Kelly tried to swing at that one. And it rattled back off of the net. 9-4. Terrebonne back on serve. And it is with Liner, Delaney Liner, will send one over, and it's received by Kinnair. Hepting is going to set Spencer with the kill. Raquel Spencer, once again, has made a mark early and often in this match. And she is now subbed out on rotation. It's 10-4. Meanwhile, it's Kinnair to serve as Gels is in as well. Kinnair, a hard serve over received and by Brittany Liner, and it's going to be set up for Coleman. That one dug on the back line by Buck. Hepting's going to set this time for Gels, and she nails one down on the back left corner of the court for a kill, and it is 11-4 Cabrini. Serve sent over, received that time by Stoufflet, and it's going to be set up for a two-handed push over that time by Aguilar. And now Gels with a tap over the block, and it's going to wind up landing down after two low hits. Atira Gels with the kill, and it is 12-4. Whereas Spencer has been the senior and the standout in two sports, Gels, just a sophomore, as the service error that time by Kinnair. Gives it back to Terrebonne. For Terrebonne, Neal serves over, and that's received, and then trying to hit it over was Hepting, and it was right to Stoufflet, and then a send over dug out by Kinnair. Cross court set this time for a kill attempt that's dug out by Dobson. Now a cross court send for Aguilar over the block, but to Kinnair. Bump set by Hepting. Leaning into one is Kelly, and that one goes off of Dobson. The chase is on, but that's going to land on the stage, and it's a kill for Cabrini and a point for Miranda Kelly. And it is 13-5. There's too many options in Terrebonne. There haven't been a lot of change speeds, kill attempts at the net as the serve received by Dobson. Set up for a standing hit over by Coleman. That one ricochets off the block, and then Kelly plays it, and then it's played back from the net, and then hit over by Petta. Dug out, so now it's going to be Aguilar tapping one over the block, but covering that time was Gels. Now sending up for Petta once again, and a cross-court kill. That is Emma Petta for a point for the Crescents. 14-5. Fast starts in all three sets for Cabrini. Hepting, left-handed serve over, and that one pushed off of, and it winds up landing down after the first hit. First one was off of Stoufflet, and then the second hit took it right over to the table. So another point for the Crescents to make it a double-digit lead. Hepting, this time a float serve over. Dobson, though, read it perfectly that time and got to it. Then Coleman just hits one way out of bounds. And an attack error and a point for Cabrini, and a timeout called by Terrebonne and Coach Hamner, their last of the set. 16-5, Cabrini with the lead in set number 3. Now single-digit points away from wrapping this match up. You are tuned in to High School Volleyball on SportsNorthern.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Welcome back to the campus of Cabrini High School. The Crescents leading 16-5. They're leading in sets 2-0, as it is Hepting once again the serve. She's not only racked up her fair share of aces, her serves have also put Terrebonne out of system, as Dobson with the reception. It's going to be set by Kelly on the bump, and then Coleman tries to kill it deep, but it goes out of bounds. And another attack error on Terrebonne, and another point for Cabrini, and their lead grows more to 12. Hepting sends one over Stoufflet. Clean reception that time. Sets up for a kill attempt that was blocked back, but then continued. And then Neal, a two-handed push over. Hepting gets to that one as she goes down to both knees. And then Kelly swings at one, tries to hit it deep on the back line, but Dobson was right there. Coleman now tries to swing at that one. Off the block, that was dug out by Buck. From inside the net, Hepting was able to set back for Buck. A kill attempt dug out by Stoufflet. And then they try to bump it back over. A third hit, but two Lady Tigers again, not communicating well. And they just bump into each other, and neither could get a third hit over the net. And a point for Cabrini, and their run continues. 18-5. Hepting serves one on a line over. Stoufflet receives, and it's going to be set up for a kill attempt by Aguilar, trying to kill it deep, but Hepting gets to that one on a dig. Kinnear is going to bump set back, and then it's just going to be bumped over, so a free ball is going to be passed to Neal. Set up for Coleman off of the tape, and then dug out that time by Gels. With a swing at Petta, that one goes out of bounds. And Lepetta tried to kill one towards the back line, but missed her spot, and it's 18-6 as a service substitution comes in for the Lady Tigers. And it is Sarah Falgu who will put it in play. Falgu, standing serve, trips the tape over. Buck just gets to that one, but it's a free ball and then pushed back down by Coleman. So a kill unassisted that time by Hannah Coleman. 18-7. Serve sent over by Falgo on an angle that time. Kinnear receives. Hepting is going to bump set this time, and it's for Gels, but she gets too much air under that one. Goes well deep and out. An attack error makes it 18-8. We haven't seen the Lady Tigers really string together a sustained run. They've scored 3 straight. Serve over, received by Kinnear. Still a lot more to do as Cabrini players trying to call each other off, but nobody could get to that off of the service reception. We're getting a little murky on the press inside the last few rallies, 18-9. Still a comfortable lead, though, for Cabrini. But maybe a timeout coming if Cabrini is not able to get it together in the next rally or two. But Kelly tries to kill one, dug out that time by Dobson. It's going to be a free ball sent over by Neal. Kinnear passes to Hepting, sets up for Gels, and that winds up being a no-sale. And it is another Terrebonne point. They get 18-10. Serve sent over by Falgo, and that one sent sideways from Buck, and that's going to wind up being an ace as the first hit took it right into the net, and 2 plays after that couldn't really send it back over. Coach Laird has not had to use a timeout yet tonight. 18-11, though. The next 6 points, the last 6 points have been served or sent by Terrebonne, but a service error gives it right back. So a free point given away. The Lady Tigers certainly could not afford to give. 19-11, Cabrini. Kelly sends one over. Serve received by Coleman and almost ate her up. And it's going to be bump set now for Coleman. Cross-court kill attempt dug out by Hepting. And now we got a whistle, double contact called on the back line. It's called on Kelly. So Terrebonne now back on serve. 19-12. It's Dobson. Dobson sends one short over, and that's an ace. Kelly tried to react to that one, just got underneath it, but the first hit was low. And it is now 19-13. From 18-5, quite a rally being pulled off right now, but the Lady Tigers trying to continue it. Bump set by Hepting off the reception, set up for Buck, and that one rattles off of the net and over out of bounds, and it winds up being a point, and a timeout now called by Coach Laird. A 9-1 run for Terrebonne, and they have cut what was a 13-point deficit down to 5 here in set number 3. We'll take the break. You are tuned in to high school volleyball on sportsnola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Back here at Cabrini, 9 of the last 10 scored for Terrebonne. Serve over, and that one is received by Kelly, but nobody else could get to that one on the second hit. So it will wind up being an ace for Dobson. And the Lady Tigers continuing on this miraculous run right now. Serve received by Buck that time. Set up for Gels. Kill attempt, and when in doubt, they go right back to the bread and butter all night. It's been Spencer and also Gels, who has been great in support as well offensively. 20-15. Cabrini. Back in to serve. It's Mertens. Mertens serves over, received, Dobson, Neal sets, Jones with a swing, off of the block and down. Went off the fingertips of the block, stayed him hung up in the air, but winds up landing without a dig attempt. And Terrebonne, 20-16, they trail. Serve received, and this one Hefting sets. Spencer tries to kill it, and she does, as it's spun like a top off of the block attempt by Jones. Rolled out of bounds, 21-16. Raquel Spencer with the kill. Rue now to serve. Sends one over, received, and that's going to be set from Neal, and then a two-handed push over by Jones, but Buck is there. Bump set by Hefting, and then Buck taps one over the block, but Neal was there to dig that one out on a cover. And now set up for just a bump over, a free ball. And now Hefting is going to set up Spencer with the smash, and that's going to be dug out and continued by the Lady Tigers, and then hit over that time by Falgu. Now Buck tries to hit one over the block. It deflects, but back to Neal, and then two Lady Tigers again collide, trying to go for the ball. And a point for Cabrini, inching their way toward a third set victory. It hasn't been their cleanest of sets. They still lead 22-16. Rue to serve, sends one over deep. It's played by Dobson, and it's going to be hit over by Neal, but that one is alertly reacted to, and then a push over and down by Spencer. The reaction by Brew, and that set up Spencer with the kill, and Cabrini now 2 points away from a sweep. And a trip to Kenner. Terrebonne had cut it down from a 13-point deficit at one point down to 4. The Crescents have responded with their big offensive weapons as the serve is received, and it's going to be bump set that time by Liner, just bumped over by Jones. Free ball, Kinnair passes to Hefting. Spencer with the kill attempt, and that goes. Raquel Spencer puts the Crescents at set and match point. 24-16. And it is Brew to put it in play. Crescent's trying to end it here. Serve received, and it's going to be bump set. Jones with a swing to try to keep it alive. No dice. There's a block. Spencer was there. So too was Hefting, and the Cabrini Crescents have advanced to the quarterfinals to be played at the Pontchartrain Center next week. They win over the Terrebonne Lady Tigers 3-0. Final score 25-17, 25-7, and 25-16. So Cabrini advances to the quarterfinals, still yet to be determined. Obviously, all games going on right now, so we do not have the final result yet, of course, of the Live Oak and Ben Franklin match, but the Crescents will advance to face the winner of that match in the quarterfinals next week. We saw it early and often throughout the match. Terrebonne giving away some points early on in each set that the Crescents were able to take advantage of. The service game as well was problematic for the Lady Tigers, or serve received throughout the night, and it has been a complete team effort throughout. When we talk about how Spencer set the tone, and Gels as well. Pettit we saw get into the act as well, along with Kelly. And the service game as well, that was really predicated by Bailey Hefting and others as well who got into the act. Not only racking up the aces, but getting the serves that put Terrebonne in a compromised position defensively. And the Crescents, the 7th seed, advance to the quarterfinals over in Kenner at the Pontchartrain Center next weekend. 3-0. Again, 25-17, 7, N16 year final. Well, that is it. We are done. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed this presentation of high school volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Emmanuel Pep is signing off. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and congratulations to the Cabrini Crescents for advancing to the quarterfinals. And a date with either Live Oak or Ben Franklin next weekend with a 3-0 win over Terrebonne. This has been a presentation of high school volleyball on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. So long, everybody.